Hello class, welcome to another lesson. Today's learning goal is I can simplify algebraic expressions using distribution, and I can use order of operations to simplify algebraic expressions. Okay. We're also doing combining like terms inside of that, but that's not really going to be the focus of this lesson. The focus of this lesson is going to be about distribution and order of operations with algebraic expressions. Okay. So let's get started. First, we're going to go over a couple of definitions that we're going to be using. Okay, a binomial is an expression with, a monomial is an expression with one term. Okay, monomial coming from the same roots as monotheism, which means one God. Okay, so one term. Okay, binomial is an expression with two terms. So, like a bicycle has two wheels. A binomial is something with two terms. Trinomial is an expression with three terms. So trinomial, like a trilogy, which means three different movies or three different books. Okay, an expression with three terms. A term with two or more terms, an expression. Whoa, that should say expression right there. An expression with two or more terms is going to be called a polynomial. Okay, coming from the same word as expression with two or more terms. Okay, same word as polytheism. Okay, which means many gods. So poly meaning many terms. Okay, so anything with two or more terms is called a polynomial. Okay, anything with one term, monomial, two terms, binomial or polynomial, trinomial or polynomial is three terms. So distribution. Distribution is something is multiplication using algebraic expressions. Okay, sometimes we can only do distribution because we can't multiply, for example, this 3 to this negative a, and this 3 to this negative 4, and come up with one term after that. It's because we can't combine unlike terms. Okay, so distribution is multiplication using algebraic expressions. Simplifying algebraic expressions follows order of operations. Okay, so our first example. Here we have a bracket, and then within that bracket we have a parentheses in this 3. So here inside this bracket we have an addition and a multiplication into a binomial right here, a and negative a and negative 4. Okay. So addition and multiplication right here. Okay, addition, multiplication. And multiplication we know is going to come first in order of operations, and we know that we have to do whatever operations are inside the bracket first. We can't do the subtraction inside this parentheses because they're not like terms, so that's why we're going to the bracket. And so we're going to distribute this 3 into this negative a first and this negative 4. And when we do that, we get the following, because 3 times negative a is negative 3a, 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. Now we have just two operations, in addition, but we can't combine unlike terms, so the only like terms that we have are the 5a and the negative 3a, and when we combine those two we get 2a. Okay. And then we have this addition sign still in here, but we can't combine unlike terms, so therefore we are done inside the brackets. What now we have to do is outside the brackets, and outside the brackets we have multiplication, so we're going to distribute this 2 into the 2a, okay, and this 2 into the negative 12. What we get when we do that is 4a plus negative 24. And that right here, we can't combine unlike terms, so therefore we are done. Our final answer is a binomial. Okay. This is a binomial. If I can change the binomial. Okay. And you can also call it a polynomial, but we're going to be more specific with that and call it a binomial. Okay. Here, again, we have another expression with brackets. Okay. Here we have parentheses within the brackets, and we should do whatever inside here first, but unfortunately we can't do anything because they're unlike terms. So what we're going to do is distribute this negative 2 into the binomial right here. And when we do that, we get negative 4a plus negative 4/5. Okay. Because negative 2 times 2 is negative 4, and negative 2 times 2/5 is negative 4/5. Now we have two operations inside the brackets, addition and addition. However, we can only combine like terms, so therefore we're going to combine this 1/2a and this negative 4a. In order to do that, we need to get common denominators, so we're going to turn this negative 4a into negative 8/2. And then we're going to add these two together to get negative 7a plus 4/5, negative 4/5. Now we have this addition sign still, but we can't combine unlike terms, so we're going to go with outside, what's outside the parentheses, and do some distribution. And when we do that distribution, 1/4 times negative 7/2 is negative 7/8, and then here 1/4 times negative 4/5. 1 times 4 is 4, 4 times 5 is negative 20, so therefore we have this, but we can simplify this fraction right here to get us our final answer, negative 7a, which again is a two-term answer, so it's going to be binomial. Okay. As you might suspect, understanding what to do is not difficult, but keeping track of things like your negative signs, okay, keeping track of your brackets. It's very important to do this by a step-by-step basis. Notice how this one took us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps in order to do it. And it does take quite a bit of writing, but it's very important that you keep consistent with that. This is not a difficult concept to understand because we've been doing order of operations since probably 3rd grade. However, just keeping track of everything and putting things together, keeping track of your fractions, keeping track of your negatives, keeping track of addition and subtraction signs, keeping track of what's outside of the brackets, that is important, okay? So, let's try another one. Here this is slightly different because we have a variable in the denominator, but it's very similar to what we've done. Here we're going to start with inside this parentheses, but there's nothing we can do because these are not like terms. We know that because remember that 1 over a is the same thing as a to the negative 1. So therefore this has a variable part. This term, this 2 right here, does not have a variable part, so we cannot combine like terms. What we're going to do is, again, distribute, because we have a subtraction and a multiplication inside this bracket right here. And distribution, multiplication happens first. And when we multiply this negative a by 2, we get negative 2a. When we multiply this negative a by this a, this results in negative 2a, and negative a times negative 1 over a gets us a positive 1. Negative times negative is a positive, and as we said, the a's cancel out. Then we look inside the bracket, we have addition and addition, which means we're combining like terms, and the only pair of like terms that we have is this 2 and this 1, which gets us 3. Right here. There are no more like terms to combine in there, so we're done with the bracket, and we start looking outside of the bracket. And what we find outside of the bracket is this multiplication right here, and this addition, so we're going to do multiplication first, and do 3 times 3, which is 9. 3 times negative 2a, which is negative 6a. What we have left is addition and addition, which means we're combining like terms, and negative 6a and negative 4a are like terms. So we're going to combine those to get negative 10a, and that is our final answer, which means our final answer has 2 terms in it, making it a binomial. Go ahead and try this one out on your own. Here again, we're going to distribute. Oops, here we go. Distribute first because we have an addition and a multiplication inside the bracket, and inside the parentheses, no like terms are there. So we're going to distribute right here and right here. As a result, what we get is this 2a right here and negative 18, because 2 times negative 9 is negative 18. Combine our like terms right here and right here inside the bracket, because we're still working inside the bracket, is 5a. And we can't combine anymore because they're unlike terms. Therefore, we're going to do 9a times 5a, which gets us 45a squared. And then 9 times negative 18, or 9a times negative 18, gets us negative 182a. So again, this is 2 terms, so our answer is another binomial. Okay, 2 terms binomial. Go ahead and try this one out on your own. Again, in the parentheses, no like terms, so therefore we're going to distribute this 3 because subtraction happens after multiplication. So therefore, multiplication. As a result, we get negative 6a, negative 3 times 2a is negative 6a, negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. We're going to combine our like terms inside our bracket and get negative 2 plus negative 6 is negative 4, so we have negative 4a plus negative 9. We are done inside the bracket because there's no like terms left, and so we're going to distribute using the 4 because we have multiplication and addition, and multiplication happens before addition right here, and resulting in negative 16a and negative 36. And then we're going to again combine our like terms, negative 36 and 2, or 2 constants here, which gets us negative a plus negative 34. And again, because we have 2 terms in here, our final answer is a binomial. Go ahead and try this one out on your own. Here, inside this bracket, we have a subtraction, and multiplication. Inside these parentheses, again, no like terms, so we cannot combine them. So we're going to go ahead and do our multiplication by distributing negative 3 into both of these terms. What we get is negative 9y and 6z. After that, we're going to continue inside this bracket and combine like terms, and we only have one pair of like terms, which is this 5y and this negative 9y. Oh, excuse me, we have a second pair. I didn't even see that. And this negative 2z and this 6z. What we get is 5 plus negative 9 is negative 4y, and negative 2z plus 6z is 4z. Okay. Again, after this, there's no like terms, so therefore we are done. We're going to start looking outside the brackets, and what we see is we got a couple of things we can distribute. We got to distribute this 5 into this binomial right here. And then we got to distribute, remember this is a negative 1 right here on the outside of this bracket. We're going to distribute that negative 1 into both of these terms right here. What we get is 5z plus negative 5y for this distribution. And then we change this negative to a positive because we got negative times a negative, so it's 4y. And this positive into a negative because we're multiplying by negative 4z. And then we have addition, which means we're combining like terms. And the only pair of like terms we have are this negative 5y and this 4y, which gets us a negative y right here. And now we have no like terms, so therefore we are done. And now this time we have a trinomial because we have 3 terms in our final answer. Go ahead and work with a partner on the last 2 examples inside the guided notes.